30. 30% of black men are saying that they will vote for Donald Trump in this year's election. And 11% of black women, which goes unreported. The amount of black women that say they're voting for Trump has doubled. The amount of black men has more than doubled. And quiet as it's kept, Latinos are doing the same thing.
They continue to say it's still early. And I've asked now for the definition of early, and I'm told it's roughly April. So this continues to be a problem for them after April. Then I think they really begin to get much more worried. They see the numbers we're seeing. They understand even in their own internal numbers that things are perhaps softer than they would like to see.
It's April 20th, and the numbers are the numbers. If the black vote moves even a little bit, because there is very little margin for error. In fact, people are getting this twisted. Trump got more of the black vote than any Republican in the last 50 years. He's on pace to double that. How could he lose if he doubles that? How could he go up with Asians, Latinos, and black voters and still lose? Some people say, Tim Black, man, they're cooking the books. Ain't that much cooking in the world for them to cook those books, if it stays that way. Does that mean I'm happy? No, I'm not happy about it. I want to see Dr. Cornel West. I support independent parties. I did it in 2016. But see, I got to keep repeating that because we live in such a binary world, man. People think, if you ain't this, you that. If you ain't this, you that. Nah, man. Just because I'm fed up with the Democratic Party, let me put it this way, guys. And if all you did is go to KFC, if all your family ever did is go to KFC every Sunday, KFC, you may be tired of KFC. If they didn't take you to churches, which I do think is probably better. Last time I had churches, it was pretty. Why I gotta use the chicken reference? Let's not do that. Pizza Hut. If you had Pizza Hut on Friday nights, that's all you ever ordered, pizza. Then you said, oh, let's go get Little Caesars. Okay, but you did it. That don't even taste like real food. You want to try something different, right? That's why you're doing it. But this analogy is not working for me. What I'm trying to say is, folks, I'm very critical of the Democratic Party because that's what we've been served. We've been served that. For some reason, that's what my people have been voting. We know the reason. We wanted civil rights policies, and that's what we've been looking for. We didn't realize we were integrated into a burning building. Black community has voted Democrat for the last 40, 50 years. Every election, overwhelming, not just by 5 points or 10 points, or even 20 points. I could deal with that. 50 points. No, I'm sorry. I can deal with 50 points. 90 points. We've been voting Democrat at the margins of 90 to 95% every election. Donald Trump got 8%, 12% of the black vote, and it was like, wow, he set records. No one had ever done that before. Not John McCain, not Mitt Romney, not Bush. So what do we have? Both Bushes? But some of us just think if you don't rock with the Democrats, you must be going with the Republicans. And that's not the case. I'm with Dr. Cornel West. That's the independent party, the Justice for All party. It's a brand new party. Okay? I did it one time. I voted the Green Party. There are other parties that exist. Black men support for Trump in battleground states has increased by 18% from 2020, with 30% planning to vote for him, according to a recent poll by the Wall Street Journal. This is not according to Tim Black. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. I was watching a video of Pod Save America, which are a bunch of Bernie bros who worked in the Obama White House. They had a special segment where they were having a conversation. Well, one of the Bernie bros is having a conversation with a brother who has a company, a strategist, a Democratic strategist organization, think tank. I don't know what they do. And he talks about why the sudden shift.
They are voters that are shopping for alternatives. The best way for Biden and for Democrats to prevent that erosion, again, is not going to be by telling these men not to spoil for Biden. It won't be just by disqualifying the other third-party candidates. It's going to be by telling them why Joe Biden is the best option.
Right.
Because what these men are saying is, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to vote for who I think is best for me. Even if that means Donald Trump wins, even if that means Joe Biden loses, I'm going to vote for who I think is best. How do we convince them that Joe Biden is the best option for them? I think that the way to do that is by talking about the progress that he's made over the last 4 years, by connecting them with that progress.
Now, folks. This I agree with. I agree with what he's saying here. And though I'm very critical of the Pod Save guys, I like the fact they brought in a black consultant who has a company that looks at the data and he's polling people. He shows video content of him having a polling people in person. They ask questions. They answer the questions about who they're voting for and why.
Voting third party in 2024. Let's take a listen to a clip from that.
The numbers, I'm not going based off the numbers. I'm going based off what I feel like that person is going to bring to the table. Gotcha. Even though I know the math, Donald Trump's probably going to win, I'm still going to vote for who I feel like would bring something to the table.
Anyone else in Howard's position say, I would still vote third party over Joe Biden if that third party person aligned with my policy positions better than Joe Biden does. Anyone else that they would do that, given the calculus we talked about with President Trump possibly running? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us. So all of us are saying, who are on that side, are saying that as well.
So tell us who we were hearing from there and what your takeaways were from this group.
Yes, look, it's shocking to hear 6 out of 7 men of color who previously voted for Joe Biden say that they would vote third party here, even when presented with the outcome that could mean that Donald Trump wins.
And based on his studies, what he's determined is that what's needed for the Democrats to do a good job here is they need to start answering questions. Stop being so damn defensive and explaining to people, hey, here's what we've been doing. Fine, explain that. My problem still is this. If you did so much, you wouldn't have to tell people what you did. Get what I'm saying? If you did so much, if so much was done, you wouldn't have to tell people what you did. The other problem is this. Based on the way our system runs, the way our system functions, there ain't much they're going to do. Because the reality is the Democratic Party is willing to lose before they give us what we want. That's what I've noticed about the Democratic Party. Because only a fool, it's sort of like you're in a relationship and she says, hey, I need you to have your ass home on the weekends. You can't be gone all weekend. What is wrong with you? And you're like, I got better things to do. So you gotta make a choice if you're gonna be home. Is she gone all the time? She ain't home. She gone all weekend with her girlfriends. You're like, hey, am I in a relationship alone? Where are you? Somebody gotta make a decision. Now, if you don't want to give up what you're doing on the weekends, well, somebody gotta make a decision. We don't just gonna sit there and complain and yell and throw stuff. Somebody has to be a grown-up. And what I'm saying is, we growing up. We are grown-ups, and we want to behave like grown-ups electorally. So we're saying, if the Democratic Party ain't going to come home, we're going to pack your bags, leave them outside. And we'll start dating who we want to date. We may date Dr. Cornel West. Well, that sounds crazy. We could date who we want to date. Pause. You understand what I'm saying? So let me go back. I like what he said here because what I see is way too many Democratic operatives who don't understand that black people deserve advocacy and they deserve actual debate, actual arguments, not condescension and berating. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like this brother. That's why I'm playing this clip. I don't agree with this guy politically at all. I do not agree with the Pod Save guys politically. I just don't agree with them. But what I do like is that this guy said, you got to win over voters. Because what I see too much of, and I'm telling you, it's something in the slave mentality, folks. where black people feel like the only way they can talk to each other is talk down to each other. Now, I make jokes, but I'm not talking down about Shannon Sharp. I'm not talking down about Willie D. I grew up with Willie D. Shannon Sharp is amazing. What he's doing is amazing. It's not hate, brother. I saw your comment. It's not hate. It's jokes. Willie D's killing it. But what I see too much in the black community is when these talking heads come out, they condescend and talk down to black people. It's like, why aren't you voting for us? What's wrong with you? You don't know what's good for you, fool. I've never heard Lindsey Graham talk to white people like that in South Carolina. You hear Al Sharpton talk that way. You never hear Sean Hannity talk to constituents like they stupid. Oh, what's just stupid, silly, simple Simon stupids. Like Roland Martin talks to black voters. Like Roland Martin talks to black commentators. Anybody that disagrees with him. I never hear Sean Hannity talk that way. I don't even hear Tucker Carlson talk that way to white people that disagree with him in the white world. But it's something about black folks that they do this. So I'm going to go back to the clip. And I'm playing him only because I respect that we disagree politically, but at least he has an argument. At least he brought some receipts, and he's doing it in a respectful way. He's trying to explain what's going on and say, this is what we need to do. And what he's saying is, we don't need to bring Simone Sanders on TV to tell black people that they dumb. That's what they just don't get it. Or that bring on Jasmine Crockett, Representative Crockett, to come on and tell people you don't understand how Congress works. I haven't heard her go to white. Well, I guess she did do that. But I don't usually hear white Congress people going in front of white networks telling white people they don't get it. They don't understand how government works. So it's a little bit of coon in there. That's all I'm telling you. It's a little bit of talking down and some BS going on. Let me go back to the clip. I'm gone too long. Let me let my brother finish up his point of view.
From the last 4 years before making promises over progress that he's made over the last 4 years, by connecting them with that progress from the last 4 years before making promises over for the next 4 years.
Right, and because you Hit Strategies shared some more data with us where you found 52% of black voters say their lives have not improved since Biden became president, and 28% of those polled under the age of 50 say their lives have gotten worse. So yeah, of course, if you feel like things haven't gotten better for you since Donald Trump left office, why would you view him as a threat? That's right.
Look, and again, I am laser focused on this third of the black electorate that is, these cynical voters, the double haters, the folks that don't believe the system works for them. For folks like that, man, the hope is such a fragile thing, that when we inspire them, and you worked for a guy that did a lot of this hope work, a lot of this convincing folks that they can change their system, that they could change their system. Well, once we do that and convince them that if they vote, things will get better for them, and they don't feel that material difference in their lives, it creates this hope deficit. Mm-hmm. And that is what Donald Trump is betting on. That's who he's talking to when he says, what the hell do you have to lose? It's folks that have felt that erosion of hope, that tried one way, that, this is from a focus group of a voter who said to me, my hood didn't get any better under Obama. It didn't get any worse under Trump. So what does Biden have to do with me? That's the cynicism that Republicans and Trump are trying to lean into. And that's what we have to combat with the progress that has actually improved their lives.
Yeah, I find it. Give it up for that, guys. Give it up for that. So once again, I don't have a problem with people disagreeing. We could disagree about political strategy. We could disagree about what we think matters. But I appreciate an honest argument, an honest conversation. Because, see, people don't want to debate with me because they say Tim Black going to go at me. Tim Black going to go at me. He going to get loud. He going to get indignant. I might get a little wild and indignant, but I'm going to have an argument. But the truth is you don't have a solid argument. What this brother's saying makes sense. And the white guy had to admit it. Now, that's the pod save guy. The white guy's the pod save guy. The black guy's the guy who's a consultant. And he said a certain number of people feel like their lives are not getting worse under Trump and they're getting better under Biden. So what are we talking about? If you saw no material difference, what's all to talk about? I have a poll right now on my community tab. On my community tab, there's a poll right now. You can go to it. In that poll, I'm asking people, and a lot of my subscribers may have seen this poll pop up in your feed on YouTube, and I'm asking, how many of you care about the Trump trial in New York right now? And over 1,000 people have already responded. I only put it up a few hours ago. And only 10% of respondents say they really care about it. 70% of the viewers or the respondents either don't care at all, don't care, or are pissed off about hearing about Trump. 70% either don't care about the trial in New York or are pissed off and don't want to hear no more about Trump. They're tired of Trump. They had enough of hearing about Trump news and Trump updates. It is what it is. Because most people realize at some point, unlike what they're telling you in mainstream media, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. All this talk about Trump don't put food on the table. All this talk about what he did and what he didn't do, grab him by the change purse. All this talk for you know how long we've been talking about this? And people's lives ain't got better. People's lives haven't got better. If I gotta come tell you how much better it is to have me as a friend, I must not be too great a friend. The benefit of being friends with me should materialize in your life. Being my friend should be conversations, what value you get out of relationships. No one should have to come and explain to you why they're a good friend to have. A good friend should manifest in your life that way. Like anything else. You know? I had a doctor's appointment today. I went to the doctor, changing your lifestyle. Lifestyle changes will impact you this way. If you don't get an impact in your life about lifestyle changes, who would change your lifestyle? So what they want you to do, they expect you to make changes, vote for Biden, support Biden, but not have any changes in your life manifest. That's stupid shit. Nobody has time for that. And worse than that, we got to keep hearing about it. They keep talking about it. So, Another reason why this is something that's underreported. One of the reasons why the black vote is moving towards Trump and the Latino vote is moving towards Trump because the Republican Party feels emboldened now. The Republican Party feels like it's worth investing in outreach. See, previously they weren't spending money trying to attract the black vote. Now they are because they see light at the end of the tunnel. It makes sense to them now. It's making sense to them now, so now they're spending the money. Now they are spending money and they're going after it. They're being proactive. They're actually going. So I expect this. I told folks, I've been saying this. We may be witnessing the end of the Democratic Party because if the Democratic Party cannot keep black voters and Latino voters in their back pocket, there will never, ever be another Democratic president. Now, why is that good or bad? Why do you want that, Tim? I don't necessarily want that. I want better policies. Whoever's going to bring those better policies is who I support. Right? So Dr. Cornel West is my candidate, and they have a brand new party. Right? Not perfect. But we ain't taking money from the military-industrial complex. We ain't taking money from AIPAC. We ain't taking money from all these dirty backroom deals. You know what I'm saying? So right off the bat, there goes some upsides. We ain't going to add to the military-industrial complex, mass incarceration. No, and we support reparations. Now, if that doesn't shut it down, all the naysay, all the talk, well, Dr. Molina is a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter. All that talk don't matter. I just told you. We support legalizing marijuana, which we say needs to be done on a national scale. I just told you we want to end mass incarceration. I just told you we support reparations. I just told you we want to end interventionist wars. I just told you we ain't going to take no money from AIPAC. I should just be able to stop there because Biden and Trump ain't going to do that. And if the Democratic Party were actually making lives better, not around the edges. See, my problems with DEI If it's only going to help those people that are in privileged positions, and it's not helping the working class black folks, what good is it? And if over 90% of the people that are in the positions to implement DEI are white men and white women, you don't even have diversity in your own ranks. Only like 3% of DEI directors and managers are black. 3%. So you can't even make your own company, your own organizations diverse. But you want a big pocket full of money, a bucket full of money to go in and tell other people how to be diverse? It don't make sense. These are my reservations. If you got programs that only help the Jack and Jill groups, it only helps the upper class of black folks who went to Harvards, who went to the Harvards, who went to Princeton's. Okay, they're black folks who went to Ivy League schools. If that's all we talk about, what we talking about? The masses of black people are not affected by this. It's like CRT. The masses of black people don't take CRT classes. People with master's degree take CRT classes. And we got us all talking about something that don't even impact our lives. Meanwhile, they're coming up with a law in Arizona that will allow cops to lock you up if you don't have your ID. So they find new ways to throw us in jail. But all I'm hearing you guys argue about with this, what's this guy, Coleman Hughes, running around talking about we need to all be colorblind. You know? Silliness that they want us focused on. And they had that debate all day. But when I say let's talk about economics, let's talk about business development, helping them build businesses so they can put money in their own pockets. Get out the damn way. That's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about that. And all of a sudden people get quiet. Well, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. So if the Democratic Party actually did some things that were actually materially changing and bettering the lives of all Americans, then all Americans would vote for them. What's happened is, the reality is, none of the political parties in place are going to fundamentally change your life for the better. Neither one of those major parties are going to do it. So a lot of what I'm seeing is apathy and frustration out there. And I get it. But you don't solve it by going to get Trump. But I can't tell them that. How am I convince them of that? They feel like they only have two choices. So they can say whatever they want to say, folks, but at the end of the day, the black vote is leaving. Black men, 30%, voted for Trump. If the election was tomorrow, things could change. They're trying to lock Trump up. If Trump is, you can't elect a president with an ankle bracelet. I said, Dr. Umar, you can't elect a president wearing an ankle bracelet. And you also can't elect a president or re-elect a president who can't get out of bed in the morning. If he thinks 2 + 2 is purple, God bless his soul.
Every moment with Tim Black is a hot mic moment. If you enjoy that content, click subscribe and turn on all your notifications. Tim Black is for the people. See you on the next video. And remember, the truth doesn't need motivation.